Your first alert forecast, only on Fox 47 News at 10.
The weather is definitely the talker today. A lot of churches canceling services for tomorrow. That's number one. Also, we've heard of some power outages. I heard one in Mason. You were just telling me one in DeWitt.
I had a couple of people post on Facebook that DeWitt Township is without power. That was about an hour ago. I don't know how much has changed since, but either way, blanket of ice across a lot of areas today. Very slippery driving conditions. In fact, I've been looking at the trees outside of our own station, and over like every hour, so it's just a little bit shinier, just this glaze of ice. You know, and that's what people are going to be driving on tonight into parts of early tomorrow. And I mean, check out the radar. It's still falling down out there, and this is kind of a jumble of colors. This is what we've been looking at for pretty much all day long. The green is, of course, ordinary rainfall. The blue is snowfall, but most of mid-Michigan falling in that purple color. That's that kind of in-between stuff, and that's, for the most part, freezing rain across a lot of mid-Michigan, Lansing area, Jackson area. And on a wider scale here, I mean, check this out. This is part of a large system affecting a very large portion of the country, from Maine down south all the way down into Louisiana as the system moves east, creating a good deal of severe weather. I've seen a couple of tornado reports even, thankfully some minimal damage of any kind. But we're not the only ones dealing with that wintry weather. You can see parts of Nebraska, Missouri having to deal with some of that as well. But it's going to be sticking around for a while, which is why the National Weather Service has issued ice storm warnings for a lot of mid-Michigan. Now, you can see on this map here, there are several different colors and different things here. So a blanket thing to realize out of this is that slippery conditions are a given for pretty much everybody on this map. The purple color here in the center, that's the ice storm warnings. That's where it's going to be worst and is worst currently across a lot of the area. Meanwhile, winter weather advisories with some snowfall up to the northwest and just a little bit of even some flooding potential depending on how far south you want to go. Local temperatures right now say it all. They're all right around that freezing mark, or even a little bit colder. If you're further down south like Hillsdale, 34 degrees, those are the spots seeing more just ordinary rainfall. And meanwhile, 30 degrees currently in Lansing, 29 Ithaca. Those are the spots seeing that freezing rain, of course. It's just below that freezing mark. Meanwhile, I mean, this is just a couple degrees difference. It can mean all the difference between rain or sleet or freezing rain, just a couple of degrees. It's a complicated forecast, and now we got these stronger northeast winds bringing in even more cold air. So we should drop down even another degree or so, I think, overnight tonight. In your headlines, breaking it down, that freezing rain is going to continue all the way through Sunday morning, but it will start to break up after midnight. Dangerous driving conditions are the biggest threat out of this, as well as a couple of power outages, as we've already reported, and some snow as well. This is not pure freezing rain. If you go further to the northwestern parts of our viewing area, they're likely to see more of that snowfall. In your 48-hour future track, you can see this system kind of just hovering off to our east, and we're giving us that widespread snow behind it. Now, by the time we get to Sunday morning, we'll see a little bit more of that continued sleet, wintry mix, freezing rain, the snow well off to our north. To the north of mid-Michigan, but we'll see a little bit more of that clearing up into Sunday, and then it's Sunday night into Monday that we'll see more snowfall. Now, this will be cold enough to be just snowfall, not the freezing rain stuff that we have had to deal with all day today. And some of that snowfall could accumulate into Monday's forecast as temperatures really start to dip down. 24 Monday, 16 Christmas Eve Tuesday, bounces back a little bit for temperatures on Christmas Day. Your forecast tonight, low of about 28 degrees, I think, is what we should drop down to over the next several hours. Freezing rain continuing, and it could be some mixed in with some snow at times all around. Just you have to realize that it is going to be very slippery out there. You can already see the glaze of ice accumulating outside. Freezing rain also again possible tomorrow morning with a little bit of that wintry mix as temperatures once again approach that freezing mark, 33 degrees, the high for tomorrow. Your 7-day forecast has, well, kind of some different things to talk about. The temperatures will be cold, and that means uniform below freezing, that we should not have to worry about too much of that freezing rain stuff, just some snow, most likely some fresh snow accumulation on Christmas Day.
If you can't stay home tonight, keep those cell phones charged just in case you do lose power.
Always a good idea.
All right, thanks, Dustin.